अगर आप एक क्यूरियस इंसान हो जिसको नॉलेज गेन करना है डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स के बारे में, तो आप एक सही जगह पे हो मेरे दोस्त. प्लीज एंजॉय दिस क्लिप. What's your take on dating or relationship?
So my take on dating though is like, I think you need to be full in yourself. You need to be a happy person. You need to be at a place in your life where relationship doesn't conflict with the work that you're doing. Because like when you're not good enough, when you are not confident in yourself, when you're not confident in your work, you how do you imply your happiness on somebody else? You expect somebody else to make you happy, and that just doesn't that cannot happen, is what I believe. They can add to your happiness, but you have to be a happy complete person in yourself to start with, to be able to nurture and grow the relationship, is what I
But
believe.
don't you think कि वो along the way भी हो सकता है?
It can happen along the way, but as I'm saying, right, you need to be aware about how it is for you. Like if you are, let's say you are a workaholic, you need to work, you're figuring out shit in your life, you need to get to this, you need to make this amount of money, you need to do this and that, and if your relationship is kind of coming in between of that, it's not worth it, because that might lead to regret in the future. That's the kind of a person I am. It might happen along with it, obviously it might happen along with it, but it depends on the person as well, right? Let's say for example, if I'm a kind of a person who have to work 10 hours a day because of the goals that I have to achieve, if a person comes in and that person directly or indirectly doesn't allow me to be able to work 10 hours a day, then it's just about priority. Do I want to give up on the dreams that I have, or do I have
do you want to save the relationship?
That's on me, right?
What will you choose then?
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I would involve in such situations when I am at a decent place that I know that with a relationship I would be able to make it work.
But don't you think वो conflict तो फिर आज नहीं आया, कल भी आएगा. Let's say कि तुम्हें आज ये A से D तक जाना है, that's your aspiration right now अभी. तुमने वो अचीव कर लिया, तब तक तुम रिलेशनशिप में रखा. नाउ यू आर सेइंग कि ओके ठीक है, आई एम इन हैप्पी प्लेस, वो सब है, रिलेशनशिप रखेंगे, तब गोल भी बिगड़ हो गया. बिकॉज अगर एम्बिशियस पर्सन हो तो तुम जाओगे डी के ऊपर, यू विल चेज,
यू विल कीप गोइंग
एम पी ऐसा कुछ भी और टारगेट. सो फिर वहां पे भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट नहीं आएगा. फिर दैट्स व्हेन हाउ विल यू बैलेंस आउट योर रिलेशनशिप. या तो फिर तुम्हें एक फंडामेंटल लेवल पर सक्सेस देख लेनी है, उसके बाद तुम्हें करना.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Like after the threshold, I will choose a person, obviously, but the problem with people is they will get themselves involved in a relationship when they have nothing. It's probably like they're not working on their own, like they are not working on self improvement. They are not kind of trying to build something. They are not kind of taking care of themselves, and they get themselves into a relationship and everything gets ruined. So when I say goals, I say goals up to a fundamental level, where you're not in pressure, like you are at a place in your life where everything, your normal lifestyle works smoothly, uske baad to, because goals ki to koi limit hi nahi hai, right? Because like that's how we are built. As a man, all you want is chase. Ki ye ho gaya to ab wo chahiye, ye ho gaya to ab wo chahiye, right? So that's never going to be ending. But after a point of time, I would always choose the person, and I would make sure that my relationship is going in a good direction, even if I have to sacrifice some of my goals. Right? But I have that fundamental initial benchmark that's my mental model that I have followed in my life. That agar main yahan pe bhi nahi, I am nothing, right?
So, but then what you will choose? You will choose a girl with same like ambition तुम्हारा जैसा होना चाहिए, वो सब होगा, but उसका भी एक fundamental level पे success मिल गया, ऐसा वाला ही तुम सोचोगे. या तो फिर because फिर तुम्हें ऐसा ही लगता कि वहाँ पे फिर कॉन्फिडेंस है कि तुम्हारा fundamental हो गया, she is trying to reach there. Now you got into the relationship कि जहाँ पे तुम्हें लगे एक the sort of love which can only be there only if you are in a relationship.
Yes.
ठीक है, वो एक तरह का प्यार है, वो अब तुम्हें रिलेशनशिप से मिलेगा. जैसे एक माँ का प्यार होता है, वो
true
वो कोई नहीं दे सकता.
100%. Yes.
तो तुम्हें लगता है कि अगर वहाँ पे लड़की इस सिचुएशन के अंदर है जहाँ पे वो फंडामेंटली वो सक्सेस वाले स्टेज के ऊपर
जा रही है, yes.
हाँ, then how do you then will cope up? Then what will be your metrics? फिर वो complicated नहीं हो जाता?
Bro, see, at the end of the day, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि if you are making a choice of getting yourself into relationship in the first place, then there are sacrifices that you need to make. Relationships cannot work without sacrifices. If you think that I am not going to be making any sacrifice, all sacrifices are going to be coming from that other opposite person, then the relationship is going to just die. both the parties, both the person have to be in a mental space of being able to sacrifice for the relationship. If you're not entering the relationship with that mindset, then the relationship just cannot get into a, how to say, a healthy space, you know. So if I'm getting myself into a relationship for a person, I would make sure that I'm making the sacrifices that are required to make the relationship work. Because, and I will decide that beforehand, right? Because if I'm not able to make those sacrifices, I won't get myself into relationship at the first place. If I am getting myself into relationship, if I'm committing to a person, I would make sure that I would make the sacrifices that are required to make the relationship happy, to make it healthy, right? So that's how I think about ki, bhai, there are, you choose your sacrifices. What are the sacrifices that you want to make?
हाँ जो हमने बात करी ट्रेड ऑफ्स के बारे में
Exactly,
ट्रेड ऑफ
the trade-offs, 100%, yes.
both the person will have to
Have to be able to make the sacrifice and trade-offs, for sure.
true. But तुमने dating apps use करी है? आप कर रहे हो?
Yes, I have used. I am not using it now. I have used it in the past, 100%.
मतलब तुम अभी relationship में हो?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have used it in the past, 100%. But yeah, I think if you like, so I have this thing ki, if you can convince a girl to go on a date with you, then you're great at sales.
ये बात तो है.
Right. So if you want to get great at sales, you need to be able to convince a girl to go on a date with you. अगर तुम girl एक लड़की को convince नहीं कर सकते to go on a date with you, तुम sales में अच्छे नहीं हो और तुम अभी नहीं हुए हो, right? So like that's I think that's a good way to think about it, in a funny way, right? Let's say or a different analogy, right? Because अगर तुम किसी, but that's all psychology, marketing, sales is, right? That convincing a person, being humble to the person, talking to them in a nice way, building that relationship initially, building that first impression, so person actually start liking you, and then you kind of take them out, right? So if you can get a girl on a date, take a girl out on a date, you can close some clients as well.
I also feel कि जो भी बंदों को थोड़ा confidence issue होता है ना, उनको multiple dates तो try करनी चाहिए.
Oh, bro, 100%.
That's when like you know कि तुम्हारा communication gap भी कहाँ कहाँ पर है.
100%.
If you will not able to talk about certain things जो वो बोलेगी तुम्हें वो तुम्हें समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, first impression किस तरीके से बनाना है, dressing sense तुम्हें पता चले कि तुम्हारी किस तरीके की है, वो सब है. हाँ, तो फंडामेंटल लेवल पे आदमी बहुत बड़ा चेंज हो जाता है. तुम किसके अराउंड लाइक सो मेरे साथ क्या हुआ है, आफ्टर आई टर्न 2021 आई मोस्टली स्पेंड टाइम विथ माई गर्ल बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स और मुझे उनका वर्ल्ड भी बहुत पता चला.
Yes.
How they cope up with their periods time, how they cope up with grief.
Yes.
और मुझे ये बात पता चली कि इन मेल फ्रेंडशिप, उसके ऊपर मुझे थोड़ी बात करनी थी, इन मेल फ्रेंडशिप वी डोंट गो टू मच डीप. हम लोग एक सरफेस लेवल बात करके छोड़ देते हैं क्योंकि फिर तो यहाँ से ऑकवर्ड हो जाएगा बात. ये चीजें तो भाई नहीं कर पाऊंगा मैं बात में चीजें, क्यों वो हमें सिखाया नहीं गया है.
Yes.
कि तुम इतना डीप जाके एक लेवल बात कर सकते हो यहाँ पे.
इसलिए तो इंडिया के अंदर son and a father have a very weird relationship.
Yeah.
That's why it is like that. But just like the guy relationships are very logical, right? And if you are friends with a girl or you're in a relationship, that's a very emotional thing to do, right? So one skill that I'm trying to good at, and it's probably going to take me a lot of time, is switching my logical and emotional plug, right? So if I'm in business, I have to have a logical thinking with it, right? And if I am, let's say, with my girlfriends, or if I am in a relationship, I have to have an emotional way of looking at things, right? And I have always struggled with it. Like if I'm in a conversation with let's say my girlfriends, or if I'm in a relationship, I have always tried to apply my logic, and that just never works. And if you apply emotions into business or with the guy friends, it never works, right? So like there is a very different sort of relationship when it comes to, let's say, guy relationship and relationship with girls. So, yeah.
So what I was telling is कि तुम्हारी emotional maturity बहुत बढ़ जाती है if you spend time with
True,
girls.
100%. You learn about yourself as well कि भाई like how am I emotionally? Because लड़के तो क्या होते हैं कि भाई तुम इमोशनल शो करोगे तो दो गाली देंगे और बोलेंगे भाई दिमाग खराब है चुप. But girls actually how do I say, they acknowledge it, right? And that allows you to be more expressive, that allows you to be more emotional,
They
and
give you the
space to be emotional, right? And they so it's just, it makes you self-aware, it makes you self-aware at a different level. You know about yourself, you know what your emotional priorities are, you know what type of person you are. So 100% you become very mature emotionally. For sure,
इसलिए
yeah.
रात टाइम बोलता है ना कि लॉन्डो की एक तो गर्ल दोस्त होनी चाहिए जो उनको सिखाए
हाँ.
इमोशनल वेलबींग, ये सब ऐसी चीजें होती है.
हाँ.
बाकी ये सब तो होते रहा है, ये लोग तो गाली बकचोदियों में से ऊपर नहीं आएंगे करने में.
If you enjoy this clip, then please like, share, and subscribe. It's free.